Now, a Singaporean went to hospital. He has to cut off his leg because his leg got gangrene due to diabetes. The following morning when he woke up, he saw the surgeon looking at him, and the surgeon said, I got good news, I got bad news. So the patient says, tell me the bad news. We cut off the wrong leg. Of course, the patient was shocked. After he recovered from the shock, he says, okay, tell me the good news. You are covered under MediShield. And you can possibly claim under CareShield. Okay, so that's the joke. I want to start off. Now, what is CareShield? CareShield will be introduced in the year 2020, in 2 years' time. Now, it is an insurance to provide long-term care. Okay, long-term care. And what does that mean? Is to help you to pay for the expenses of staying in a nursing home or to employ a nurse look after you at home. Now, this insurance pay only for people with severe disability. Must be very severe. Not just disabled, but severe disability. And how is severe disability defined? The definition is you must be disabled to an extent that you can't perform at least 3 activities of daily living. Now, what are these activities of daily living? The insurance scheme defines 6 activities. One of them is you can't wash yourself. The other is you can't dress yourself. The third, you can't feed yourself. The fourth is you can't go to the toilet by yourself. The fifth is you can't move from the bed to a chair, called transferring. And the sixth is you can't move from room to room. So these are the 6 activities: washing, dressing, feeding, toileting, transferring, moving. Now all this means somebody must be there to help you. So it's either a nurse, a full-time nurse in your home, or for some people they will stay in a nursing home where the nurses there can help you with this activity. Now this is not the same as the insurance to provide loss of income during disability. Now what is this disability insurance that most people think about? You are working and these are mostly self-employed people. Let's say you are a taxi driver, and if you are very sick, you can't work, you can't drive a taxi. And if you can't drive for several months, you need to have insurance to pay disability income. But the long-term care, the CareShield, needs to be more severe than that. Don't say that you can't work. That's covered by a separate insurance, loss of income insurance. So long-term care must be such that you need someone to take care of you. So that's CareShield. So somebody complained, I think the social media, he was covered under Eldershield, which is similar to CareShield, and then he's totally blind, and he says, I can't work, I want to claim under Eldershield. And the insurance company says, no, we can't pay your claim because you don't qualify. Although you are blind, you can still dress yourself, you can still feed yourself, you can still go to the toilet by yourself. So you are not meeting the criteria of unable to perform 3 activities of daily living. So you must know the difference, therefore, between the loss of income, you can't work for a living, and severe disability that require a nurse to look after you. Now, what is Eldershield? Eldershield is the same, it's also long-term disability insurance. So Eldershield is the same as CareShield. Eldershield was introduced, I think about 15 years ago, Eldershield. Now, how is then CareShield different from Eldershield? Now, the coverage is the same. It's for severe disability, not able to perform 3 activities of daily living. The coverage is the same, but where is the difference? Eldershield pay $400 a month. CareShield will pay $600 a month. So therefore, CareShield payment increased by 50%. Next difference, Eldershield pay maximum 6 years. CareShield pay for as long as the claimant live. It can be more than 6 years. So it's payable for life. Okay, so on the one hand, the benefit goes up 50% and also payable for a longer period. So if you compare CareShield and Eldershield, of course CareShield is better. But CareShield require a higher premium. But the premium increase I calculated is only 15%, 1-5. The benefit goes up 50%, the premium goes up only 15%. So between CareShield and Eldershield, which is better? CareShield is better, okay? Now, what about MediShield? MediShield is to pay for our cost of hospital care in hospital. So just now I told the story of the person who's cut out the wrong leg. Okay, the surgeon will charge him for the surgery, and the hospital will charge him for staying in the hospital. This is covered under MediShield. All right. Whereas CareShield is for a nurse to look after you at home, or for staying in a nursing home. So therefore, there's a difference. Now, MediShield covers expenses of hospital treatment, and also certain types of chronic illnesses treatment for cancer, kidney dialysis, and a few others. So MediShield covers that. Now, the Eldershield and CareShield is pre-funded. Pre-funded means you pay your premium up to age 67, and after that you don't pay any more premium for the rest of your life, but you are covered for the rest of your life. So you are paying the premium up to age 67 for a coverage for the rest of life. So this is called pre-funding. MediShield is not pre-funded. MediShield, every year you pay the premium, and even if you are 90 years old, you still have to pay the premium. And the premium becomes more and more expensive as you grow older, very expensive. So MediShield is not pre-funded. But the government says they are trying to do some partial pre-funding. Partial pre-funding means if you are young, we want you to pay a little bit more, so there's a bit of surplus, so that in the future, your premium when you grow old, not as much as it should be, because there's some partial pre-funding. How it works, I don't know, but there's some partial pre-funding. Now, But definitely MediShield can become very expensive. Now MediShield, MediShield is also compulsory. MediShield Life, the latest, is also compulsory, and the Singaporean living overseas are very angry. They also have to pay, although they live in other countries and are being treated in other countries. They also have to pay MediShield Life because it's compulsory. So we got a lot of complaints from Singaporean living overseas. Now, CareShield Life, and every time you see life, you got CPF Life, you got MediShield Life, now you got CareShield Life. Whenever you see life, it means first, compulsory. All the life are compulsory. And second means it covers you for the whole of life. Okay? CareShield Life is compulsory. But compulsory only for people who are 40 years and younger in 2020. That means born 1980 and after. So 1980 and earlier, people like me, it's not compulsory. Okay, so I think Solan was quite worried. She didn't join Eldershield, she thinks compulsory to be CareShield. No need. 020, everybody less than 40 years old must join. And then after that, those reaching age 30 must join CareShield Life. So 2020, all those 30 to 40 must join, and year by year after that, those who become 30 must join. It's compulsory. Now, why does the government want to make it compulsory for CareShield and for MediShield Life and CareShield Life? Because the government wants the healthy people to subsidize the not healthy people. So everybody must join. If you don't have compulsory, then some people say, I'm very healthy, I don't join. And later on, when they become sick, then they want to join at that time. Okay? Government says, no, it must be compulsory. So that's why we have all this life scheme compulsory, including CPF Life. That's why so many people are unhappy. You can't take out your CPF at 55 because it's locked up under CPF Life compulsory. So, I want to talk about some flaws, some weaknesses in our insurance system. One is, why do we need two separate schemes, MediShield Life and CareShield Life? Why can't you have just one scheme to cover both? All right. So this was what one old man at the bus stop. He says, "Oh, you're Mr. Tan." I said, "Yes." Why does the government want to have two schemes? I say he's old, but actually he's younger than me. Okay. All right. Many people then come and say, "I don't understand the difference between these two. Why do you want to have two separate schemes?" And then another is, why is CareShield pre-funded? That means up to 67, you pay up to 67, but after that you don't pay anymore. But MediShield continue to be payable for as long as you live. So why is one pre-funded and the other not pre-funded? So to the ordinary people, they find this all very confusing. All right? Okay. Next question is, why only 600? Is it enough to take care of nursing home fees? And the answer is no, because nursing home fees, I think, cost about $2,000. Okay, maybe more.
Yes,
okay.
More.
Of course, Mr. Corbyn once says, go to Johor Bahru. Okay, but then although it's more, I think the government does provide some subsidy So after subsidy, maybe it's not more than much. We don't know what is a subsidy. Of course, a government subsidy is very confusing. This government, everything very confusing. I can tell you, you read the terms and conditions, it's very complicated. That's why I say I don't like Mr. Lian, the way he run the country. All his schemes are so complicated. Everything got 5 pages must read. Okay, so even the subsidy is also complicated. Who gets, who don't get, depend on family income, depend on whatever, so many things. Somebody, I think the Minister for Health said, over 4 years, they collected 2.6 billion in premium, but they pay out 100 million in claim. So it's 26 to 1. So are you collecting too much? Of course, the minister says because there are very few actuaries, so many people are not actuaries. So he says, oh, this is pre-funding. When you grow old, you're going to make a claim. Because he knows there are so few actuaries, so most ordinary people don't know. But I'm an actuary. I tell you, the premium too high. Even to allow for reserve for the future is still too high. Okay, that's my view. Of course, my good friend Mr. Lian says, why don't we get the actuary who did the calculation, publish the report? Then we will know how many people claim at what age. So far, we don't see those reports. So I know my gut feel it is too high. The premium is too high. The actuary is too conservative. He thinks that so many people will claim, but the actual number of claims is much less. So therefore, the premium could be lower. So I think the premium is too high. And there's a big problem about compulsory. I mentioned about why should Singaporeans living overseas, and some of them live overseas for 10, 15 years, and they're not going to claim, why should they have to pay? All right, and in Singapore, some people say, my CPF not enough for me to live on. I don't want to join this MediShield and CareShield. Why you want to make me pay my premium? Okay, so compulsory do have a problem. What is my preference? If I were the health minister, if I were the prime minister, what will I do? Okay, of course this is easy to talk. I'm not a prime minister, I'm not a health minister. So I'm going to share with you what I think all this should be. First, we should have only one scheme to cover health insurance. No need to have CareShield and no need to have MediShield. We just have one combined to cover all the medical needs. All right. The scheme should be operated on non-profit. So nobody should make profit, not even the government. Okay, the government now, we all suspect they are making a lot of profit, but they're not sharing. So it has to be a non-profit. The third is the premium every year should be based upon actual claims. All right, so you don't want to have extra keep for the future, but sometimes we don't know how much you keep for the future. So the premium should be based on actual claims. But there's still a problem. As you grow older, the cost goes up very high. So there must be some pre-funding. That means as you are young, you must keep aside the money that can be used for older. But the pre-funding, I prefer individual, my money. So I pre-fund my money. I will use to pay when I get old. But if I don't use up the money still go back to my family. So it's individual pre-funding. Of course, MediSave is actually individual pre-fund. an individual pre-funding. But the trouble with MediSave is it's used for so many other things. Can even be used for your family member. So your MediSave might be all used up. So the pre-funding that I suggest should be pre-funding only for the insurance scheme, cannot be used for other things. Okay, so this is what I think. It should be voluntary. You want to join, you join. You want to join, up to you. It should be voluntary. But my proposal is there must be 30% subsidy by the government. Whatever is the total claim, the government pay 30%, then 70% charge to everybody. Okay, so if there is a 30% subsidy by the government, I think many people will want to join. Because you're only paying for, 30% subsidy by the government, you're only paying for 70% of the actual cost. Because the government thinks it should be 0%. Okay? And then if you are in a truly socialist country, it should be 100%. Government pay 100%. Yeah? So this is halfway in between. Yeah? Of course, if another party says 100%, then you vote for that party.
No, I'm just being reasonable to ask you what's your assumptions in your thinking.
No, it's just a matter of judgment.
Okay, fine.
It's a matter of judgment. There's no magic formula. Okay. So I will say 30% subsidy by the government. It should be voluntary. I also want to say this. Our MediShield Life, I don't like it because the deductible is 1,500. It's too high. That's why so many people want to buy this rider to cover deductible. For me, the deductible should be maybe 300 or 500, not so high.
Right.
So if you have a lower deductible, then people don't need to buy all the rider.
Right.
But this other thing I don't like about MediShield is you get a bill, very complicated. The insurance company says this cover, that not cover, this cover, that not cover. It's very complicated. So I will come and say the total bill must be covered. If you want the patient to pay 10%, 15%, go ahead. But of the total bill, not item by item which is covered, which is not covered. So I don't like MediShield Life because it's so complicated. Well, I told the story in my Facebook. So I met one retired MP. His wife got cancer, and he told me, wow, the bill is so many items and so costly. And I told him, yeah, that's true. First of all, our hospital bills are too high, and they got so many items. And he come and says the administration cost must be very high. Wow, this one charge, that one charge. Why can't they give you a total package rather than so many items? Huh? So my MediShield coverage, I would prefer that the total bill is covered, and maybe the patient can pay 10 or 15%. The deductible may be $500, not too high. Of course, the government will come and say, but what if the hospital charge a lot of money? How do you control that? You know, I won't mention specific hospital, but some private hospitals, the bills are very high, 2 to 3 times of what the normal bill should be. So how do you control that? That's why I say, you, health minister, you're not doing your job. If I were the health minister, I will approve certain hospital, and I will not approve certain hospital. You are approved. These are hospitals that are approved. If you want to be approved for MediShield, I want you to have agreed rates. You cannot anyhow charge and add so many items. There must be agreed rates. So one key element is there must be approved hospital who agree to operate on agreed rates. These are the rates. Okay, I personally share this example. I went to a hospital 10 years ago for colonoscopy. Must check whether my colon got cancer or not. I was told cost $1,000. I said okay. But when I wake up the following day, they never cut off the wrong leg. They come and say, no, when I wake up after the surgery, because I was asleep during the surgery, the bill was $1,600. So I says, hey, I thought you told me 1,000. So they say, oh, we found a polyp. So the polyp cost another $600. I don't know. I'm not an expert. You can show me the photograph. I don't know whether that's a polyp or not. I'm not an expert. But I think if I were a health minister, I would come and say, the cost 1,000, maybe you want to increase to $1,100, should include any polyp. You cannot just charge extra. Because if you allow this, then the doctor sometimes, they also charge extra because you don't know, you're not expert. So I will come and say that I believe the proper system is we have approved hospital, and this hospital, their charges, the rates must be negotiated and agreed. By the way, this is what happens in Japan. In Japan, every year the Ministry of Health negotiate with all the hospitals and doctors. What is your fees for each type of treatment? 1 bypass, 2 bypass, 3 bypass, colonoscopy, including polyp and so on, what is your fee? Alright, and of course, it's negotiated. Of course, the hospital and doctors, they want to have enough revenue to operate, but the Ministry of Health want to keep the cost low. So it's negotiated. So we don't have to worry. You go to hospital, it's covered by insurance. The fees are all agreed, but they are adjusted every year. Next year, the hospital says our cost goes up 3%. Okay, the fees can go up 3%. You know, so I think that's a better system. So a Singapore system where you allow the doctors and hospitals to charge what they want, I think it's no good. That's why we all complain as consumers, why so expensive? And keep on going up by a lot. Okay, of course I'm talking as a non-medical person. Later on we hear from Paul whether he wants to speak from the side of the doctors. A number of areas in the government which are not operating well. These things have to be controlled. Nobody is controlling. Just let the market run away. I also have other areas of complaint. That's why you read my Facebook, you can see what my thinking are. I also think that our infrastructure cost is too high. You know the downtown line I just read, initial estimate was 10.5 billion. The final bill, 21 billion. I said, what kind of control you have? Of course they say, oh, the cost has gone up, but does it go up? Double. So we got plenty of areas, plenty of areas where the money is just anyhow spent, I call it, not properly spent. So I believe that one important strategy, if I were the health minister, I will do this. I will approve which are the hospitals to be covered under MediShield, and then to be approved under MediShield, you must, we will have some negotiation what the rates are. If you don't want to operate under MediShield, it's okay. There are still Indonesians and foreigners who can come to your hospital. That one you can charge whatever you want. But if you want to operate, to claim under MediShield, this must be the rate. All right, and that will include our government hospitals, our restructured hospitals. Our restructured hospitals, someone pointed out to me, Mr. Tan, have you seen the Ting Fong Hospital in Jurong and the Sengkang Hospital? I haven't seen that, but I said they are very luxurious. 5-star hotel, the lobby area, you know. So I think it's too expensive. So my final closing mark, for people on EldeShield, when CareShield is introduced, you can move to CareShield. Do you move or not? I said yes. Because you pay 15% more, you get double the benefit. For people who don't want, who are not in EldeShield, like Solan, do you want to buy CareShield on your own? It's voluntary. Depends on how much money you have. If you've not enough money, then of course don't buy. Okay, but okay, I don't know. I don't know whether it's worthwhile or not. Okay, because I don't know what is the claim rate. I suspect the claim rate is very low, and I suspect the premium is too high. That means don't buy. But since I already bought, in my case, I already bought EldeShield, might as well pay 15% more to get 15% more benefit. But if you are already stuck in EldeShield, you might as well move to CareShield. If you haven't joined, then maybe don't need.
Well, they are over 67 years old and everything is pre-funded. I mean, can you actually swap to CareShield?
No. If you are on
MediShield, sorry.
EldeShield, you have already pre-funded.
Yes.
When you move to CareShield, they will ask you to pay an extra premium. And I think the extra premium is probably worth paying. I think we haven't seen the figure. It should be worth paying. I also agree with your point about working on the parameter, and that's why my approach is a total revamp. Okay, I think maybe I'll let other people have their question. Any others? If it's none, I'd like to pass back, and Paul wants to speak.